Indeed. Welcome everybody. Welcome everybody. Oh, Lumix. Hey, it's me. How's everybody doing? So we're gonna start out with. We're gonna do quite a lot of game dev today, hopefully. But we're gonna start with something else. We're gonna start with this little thing that the Gecko has posted. That is actually my jam. I'm actually eager to check out. Let me see. Let me figure this out. I downloaded it on the desktop. Where is it? There it is. Hey, BIOS. It is still hot. Yeah, yesterday it was just like, I don't know, over 35 degrees. And I was just like, I was sweating. I was like, nah, I can't turn on the PC today. There's also other stuff that I had to do, so it wasn't a wasted day. It was just like, okay, let's focus on these other things that I can actually do today. What I wanted to say, yeah, today it's still hot, but it's like 5 degrees less. I think it's kind of like 30-ish. And there's a cool breeze blowing. And apparently tomorrow we're gonna get finally some rain. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine that? Yeah, man, it's difficult to stay healthy. I'm not gonna lie. All right, so this is by the Gecko. Let's run this. Hometown you are her. Is that a single line of? Is that me? There's a single line of pixels on top? Why is there a single line of black pixels on top? I'm very sensitive to the kind of stuff because when I resize that's what happens. But no, it's just like a black line of pixels. Crazy. I've been working on this Final Fantasy III demakey thing for a while. Started with getting water effects right and expanded from there. This is a recreation of Town of and a non-canon, obviously, story before the events of Final Fantasy III. There are a lot of systems data required for this kind of for RPG. I'm just at a compressed size limit. Oh my god. Just one town and already a compressed size limit? Oof, yikes. I just keep adding systems to this over time. There is some good and some bad, but playable pre-features. For the map, this is the big map editor from Pencilor. NPCs are random, created, and can get in the way, but if you press against them, they should move away quick. Talk to NPCs. Random ones have some funny lines, but they also have some hints. But there is a story story as well, and a task to achieve, I guess. I interpreted the town music. Is there a well that tells you a story? For a second, I was like, oh. I interpreted the town music for Pico 8. No combat, just town-based. No merchants, unfortunately. SPR system for characters using normal SPR in spirit of original NES. Various trigger and message systems that probably need to be combined. You can open chests and pots with random results. There is an ending, a bit rushed. I think it should work, hopefully no bugs. About 2 to 3 minutes. I have that time. Let me... Ooh, that is such a good rendition of that music. Oh my god. Sick, bro. There's a black line on top. What is that? You can't leave yet. You need to find all your friends. Okay, yeah. This is your hometown, the hometown of her. You've got to find your fellow Onion Knights and tell them about the interesting cave to explore. Oh, so that's a prequel to the Final Fantasy III. That's so nice. Huh. Is that really the sprite? It looks a little bit narrow. Is that truly the Final Fantasy III sprite? Let me check. I'm actually curious about this. Final Fantasy III sprites. Okay, there's a huge list. It is! That's fascinating. It looks so narrow. I guess the idea is that you are supposed to be a bit of a child. Well, that's right. Do you smell something? Oh, by the way, something that takes me out. I mean, it fits the Pico 8 thing, but the font is smaller. And also, like, what is with the window sliding up? And there was like text scrolling, like the gecko is flexing a little bit here. You should probably talk to everyone well except me. Oh, that's cool. That's that. Oh, that's that good NES look and feel. Although you can tell that some of the maps. This is something that I'm thinking about a lot. I think if you have that low a resolution, you kind of have to design differently. Oh, it's really random. Oh my gosh, there's different people. You kind of have to make the buildings smaller so they fit on it. Oh my gosh, look, this pentagram. Okay, I know why we're on a compressed size limit. This pentagram is turning. Adaptive mom, Nina, take care of yourselves. Isn't this a fine morning? Looking smart, they're onion ones. I mean, knights. The sky looks lovely today. We're not outside. What time is it? Does it say hammer time? No, it doesn't say hammer time. Oh, Rev? That's not how it is in the original. Holy, that tile, I know, right? Just like super flexing. Like, hey, look, I can make a thing spin. Why, hello there. Where are my kids? Okay, yeah, that's good. That's good. Oh wait, can you walk past? No, okay. Where are my kids? Okay, still. The sky looks lovely today. That's all what I was asking. Where's my kid? Very dad thing to ask yourself. You can always open a secret door from the other side by activating the upper wall. Where you've been, I've got to find the others. I think the guy over in the long grass to the north said he's so greeny. Let's join. Press circle to change character. Oh. Okay. Yeah, we're flexing here. I know where I know where all these tokens went. A compressed size went. Yeah, look, all the interiors are made as well. How do you do, buddy? Looking there, said, nope, nothing. Can I do it again? Oh, I cannot do it. So we cannot buy anything. Let's go to the pub. That wall over there looks funny. I think I saw the bartender walk through it. Okay. Why, hello there. What? My child is missing. I think I saw the bartender talk to them. What? There's no dancing sequence. Why, hello there. Okay. They really like Star Wars Episode 1. Can we talk to the bartender? Oh. How did we get... What? Okay, it's just like a stupid wall. Okay, it's nothing. It's just like... we go there and it's like, hey... Wait, maybe somebody's up there? Let's go. How do you do, buddy? Oh, that seems like a male thing to say. The blue beds, I don't quite feel. Generally a little bit too colorful overall. Wow, look at this. Everything is modeled. That's sick. Oh god. What time is it? Do you smell something? I farted. Wait, where's everybody? So we have bluey, we have need greeny. The candle farthest to the right is a switch for the hidden door. They're swimming. I'm picking flowers. All right, all of this was for nothing. Hello, I'm fellow Onion Knights. Well, I was once, okay. I think I saw your green friend head off north and west. Yeah, I think I know where it is. Oh, look, they have he made the grass thing. The grass thing. What? Everybody asking what time is it? I've seen any rats around here. Oh yes, the gray one. They wanted to get to the top floor of the warehouse to the west. Try hitting the candle on the first floor. Okay, we got it. Yeah, the water is really nice. Ah, there's the greenie. What? Don't you love how the water shimmers in the sunlight? Oh yeah, I lost Grey Knight. They are always getting lost. I think their mom works in a pub. We should check out the inn. Let's join up. Oh yes, let's go. Press up and X to open again from this side. Okay. Very good information. They ran off, the grey one, towards the western entrance. They kept talking about the trees. They are hiding something. Looks empty. Nope, nothing. Finally payday. Darn it, nothing. Nope, nothing. Nope, nothing. It should have a little blop sound when you open it up, I think. Ah, darn, I'm closed. How do I get through? Oh, like that, okay. Looks dark inside. It looks empty. It looks empty. Okay. La 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 la. So to the west. And the trees hide something. I'm confused if I got the things. What? Uh-huh. How did you get here? I haven't filled my chest down the well yet. Okay, wait. I think the guy shouldn't be here. Nothing. Nothing. It's nothing. I noticed that it seems like I'm getting stuck a little bit if I press up and left. No, that's fine. Oh yeah, if I press left and now down, and I should be going down, but I'm not, I'm stuck. There's a priority thing that is, I think... I mean, it's little details, it's not too bad, but it's just like, makes just a little bit... Where is mom of... doesn't he live in a pub? Does the mom live in a pub? Child is missing. I think I saw bartender talk to them. But how do I talk to the bartender? Aha. The grey one, yes, my grandma was talking to them. She likes to swim in a northern pool. It's quite an investigation. I already talked to the grand. What she? I The problem with the grandmaster, I thought she was talking about going to the warehouse. But apparently not. Let's see. Yeah, the NPC is definitely having a problem here. Oh, wait. Huh? I see. The gray one, they wanted to get to the top floor of the warehouse to the west. But we were in the warehouse in the west. Try hitting the tendril on the first floor. But didn't we go there? I think in situations like this, I think it's a good idea to make not just the NPCs walk away, but disable collision detection with NPCs when you run against them a lot. So you can just phase through them, you know, at some point. Also, just like it's way too many NPCs, I think. And it's fine to like, especially when the quarters are cramped. I think it's fine to just make them stationary. Or you can maybe have like no step floors, so places where the NPCs will never go. I mean tiles. They ran off the grey one towards the western entrance of what? Nie ohne Seife waschen. Okay. Okay, so western entrance of I'm assuming the village. This is such a lovely homage. Yeah, but it's crazy, right? It's just like this one town and we're already maxing. Do you know something about this guy? Nope. The trees hide something. Where's the west? See, there's something here, maybe. I am completely stumped. The last clue didn't help. Oh, wait. Never mind. What? Did you see that transition? Oh my god. Ooh. Something opened. Okay. Uh-oh. Guys, you saved me. I can't remember. I tried to look into the water. Bring me with you. And that is how Final Fantasy III starts. Very nice, very nice. I love it. Love to have a big adventure on a Pico 8 like that, but yeah, it's just like, yeah, I think we need to go Picotron for that. Which I think it's not bad, it's fine. Just go Picotron! Picotron! Speaking of which, welcome to Picotron. No, very nice, very nice. The gecko, well done, sir. I love it. So, today what we want to do is we want to return to our projects. We're working on the protostakes. Yeah, I think, yes, this is at the limit, but I think you can be more efficient. You would, if you wanted to make a Final Fantasy III type of game in Pico 8, you would absolutely, thank you SPU streams, you would absolutely need to do multi-carting. And the question then becomes, you know, how are we doing multi-carting? Are we, is maybe like the fight, if you have fights like in Final Fantasy, is the fight an extra module, an extra card? And then maybe, you know, each town is a card. Or do we do some kind of like reloads shenanigans? But these can be difficult to upload actually to that's something I want to actually tackle next week. I want to actually get a little bit into multi-carting and explore a little bit of all the options of multi-carting. Especially, I want to explore how to upload a reload-based multi-carting to the BBS, because that's something that I think a lot of people are struggling with. Yeah. So what I want to say is, yeah, I would have to figure out how to separate this. And I think I've seen in this prototype that he made here, I saw a lot of like flourishes, which are really nice, which just like eat up tokens that you don't really need and don't really have in the original game. I think if you there is an efficient way to get through to create a wonderful RPG that skirts around all those issues, and that gains a lot of efficiency by not delving into those rabbit holes, like, you know, scrolling text or like the windows popping up. And these are nice and everything, don't get me wrong, but it's like, yeah, that's tokens and compressed sizes that you're missing on the other end. Also, I'm not sure if the big map editor was really necessary for this town. Oh yeah, that's something also I would also change. I would probably create like a meta tile system, because just like wasted space, man. It's just like the original game also is working with meta tiles, so you would have to maybe roll your own code to create the meta tiles. But yeah, that's something I also want to get into maybe next week. Next week is going to be like the most productive week in the world. I'm putting all of the stuff in there. Like, I'll do everything next week. I definitely want to get into multi-carting, but also want to maybe explore some options to load in. I want to finally explore how to load in the Pico 8, how to edit the Pico 8 file in Picotron. How to create editors for Pico 8 games in Picotron. That's something that I haven't wrapped my head around yet. Or generally how to make editor in Picotron, you know. That's a bit of a black magic to me right now. Okay, so we developed this, and this has a bunch of really cool tokens. I like those in general. We have some new rules and everything. Everything is cool and peachy. Like tomorrow is always the busiest day of the week. I know, right? It's also the mañana. But actually, no, today is also going to be a busy day, because what I want to do is I want to turn this into something I can actually play test with people. So I want to create a different menu, so you don't like, because this is like something for me, right? So I want to create a menu where where people could just click on and play the game a bunch, and then you know, and then the data, because I want to save some data, is stored in in a file, and then I can load in the file and kind of like do some I want to find out what the average winnings are. So I can what do I want to do? I want to adjust the difficulty. So we can say, like, you know, you have we figured out what the average winnings are, and then you can know, you know at which level do stuff unlock, how much blood do you get from winning at a certain level. You know, you can just adjust the difficulty curve, because right now it feels like the game is maybe a little bit too easy. I mean, with 2 tokens is very easy, right? So this is high. Let's get the P here. What is P? Oh, it's prime, right? Well, let's see if it's prime. There's one prime nearby. That's this one. So this is not a prime. That means that this is the seriously, we just figured it out. Okay, easy. Right. Okay, I think this is something we can remove. Yeah, it's just like a bunch of stuff that I'm just like looking at. Okay, so let's go menu mode equals play test. And then in a draw function, if menu mode equals play test, I did something quite amazing today. Do I have it here? I'll show you guys because this is amazing. You know what this is? You know what this is? This is a Game Boy Micro, that's right. And what I did here is I installed a USB-C mod in a Game Boy Micro. So now, and also replaced the battery. So now this bad boy runs off USB-C. And that was a difficult mod. I ordered it a while ago and I was happy to finally have the time to install it. That was a difficult mod. That's not something I would recommend if you're a beginner. I kind of already thought at some point that I cooked my Game Boy Micro. I was like, nah, oh, this is not happening, you know, because it's a really badly designed mod, I think. The way it works is you have to remove the old. You see it today. You have to remove the old plug, or you have to desolder it. That's already pretty hard. You have to like blast it with a lot of hot air to melt the solder. And there's like lots of very fragile electronics just right nearby. It's so tiny, right? So you have to remove the old plug, and then you have the old contacts there. You have to clean them up, and you put a new PCB, like tiny little PCB, on top. So you sandwich it on top. And then you kind of have to solder all the contacts on a new PCB to the contacts on the old PCB. And it's like PCB to PCB soldering is just annoying. It's hard to pull it off. Because basically it's like the solder that needs to be melted is between the PCBs. And it's like, how do you get the heat between the PCBs, you know? So I'm blasting it with hot air, trying to melt the solder between the PCBs, and it just didn't work. I figured out a method eventually. They have like the contacts have holes in them, And the way you do it, you fill it with solder, you put it between them, and then you use the soldering iron to melt the solder on top, and that the heat then goes through the holes and then melts the solder in between. But it was very distressful. And then I blasted so much with air that actually desoldered the USB plug from the PCB. So I had to solder it back in. It was just like this. I was sure I destroyed it. It was pretty stressful. So yeah, there's a lot of Sunday to do. A lot of to do here. I kind of don't want to delete it because those notes might be useful. Sunday to do. Main menu, UI, tool tips, stat saving and stat tracking and saving. There's also one thing I wanted to change. I forgot what it was. We're gonna figure it out later. So we're gonna go do GUI2 draw all. So we're gonna create both GUIs no matter what, right? So there's like, because I think there's some stuff that refers to the different GUIs. Hey Kerp, how are you doing? So we're gonna go You know what they say, witam, witam. Witam, witam, o zdrowie pytam. Jak tam pania, jak tam się robi? God, I have to switch to Polish. Jak tam pan się, jak tam pan, co tam pan robi? Jak tam leci? Gorąco troszeczkę, tak? Słyszałam, że jest troszeczkę gorąco. No tak, przepraszam bardzo, tak nie często mówię po polsku. Nie mam tak dużo okazji, ale cieszę się, jeżeli mam okazję. Właściwie chciałem jechać, teraz akurat chciałem jechać do Polski, z powrotem do Polski z moją córką, ale niestety jakoś się nie udało, bo córka jest teraz na urlopie i nie udało mi się. Ale może tak, może jeszcze w tym roku, może na gwiazdkę, zobaczymy. Zobaczymy. Git. So I'm thinking how best to visualize this. Okay, so I think the way we're gonna do this is the following. This is a little bit sucks a little bit because the GUI, I kind of don't like create GUI objects for static text. Ale masz tutaj tabelkę normalnie, no dupy. Dupy XD. Butts. Dupy XD. Oh, that's actually really good. That's a way to not get dirty stuff in there. Just make polish. Dupy XD. A wiesz co ostatnio czytałem? Nie wiem czy widziałeś, ale patrz co mam. Tytusa mam normalnie. Czytam wszystkie tytusy. I ten tytus jest najlepszy tytus, bo to jest najbardziej lubię, bo to jest ten tytus, co byli na wyspach nonsensu. Najlepszy tytus. Nie czytałem. A, to jesteś młody jeszcze, czy co? No tak, bo to jest młody na pewno, tak. Bo to jestem staruszek. Ale ten facet, co robi te tytusy, to też jest taki, zrobił się taki, no taki, jak się mówi, po niemiecku mówi się Schwurbler. To jest taki, wiesz, prawicowy, że tak powiem. Niestety. No ale słyszę, jak czytasz te tytusy, to widać, że już zawsze coś takiego, taki był, taki wojskowy, taki dziwny. W porównaniu co do CB? Jakie CB? A, do ciebie. Jesteś starszy ode mnie? Nie. A to po prostu w ogóle nie czytałeś? No jak możliwe, no. A, w porównaniu do mnie to młody jesteś. No tak. Ale to wiesz, to wszystko jest relatywne, bo tak, fajnie jest, jak ja oglądam takich streamerów. I oni mówią, że jestem stary, już jestem, 25 lat mam. A ja sobie tak myślę, że... Słuchaj, ty nic nie wiesz, co to znaczy być starym. Okay, so let's make it dupy. Yeah. I'm not sure. I'm going to switch back to English. I'm not sure how to do this the best. Because, well, technically, I guess it makes sense to put everything. I'm going to put everything in GUI. Okay, I'm going to put everything in GUI. So let's spread things apart first. So label is going to be 2. Tooltip we don't need. What is this? Is this Zelda? This is Zelda, right? Yeah, I think it's better because the English, you know, the English people will just get very nervous when they realize that the other languages exist. They get very nervous about this. those Americans. American pigs. American pigs. They prostituted us to the West. Yeah, so what we need to do here is... Okay, so let's make it something like local dup x equals, let's go 100. And then this is going to be dup x. And then dup x plus equals... Picotron is a lovely piece of software. It is nice. It is nice. I'm just like really doing this a lot now. I'm trying to do it a lot more now because I can't believe I got it wrong once again. I got it wrong once again. I want to get used to using it more so I can do more tutorials about it. I feel like it's really hard to make tutorials about something that you're not really aware of. I mean, I could do some basic stuff, but like creating like a tutorial or like an informational video about the entire process is kind of like really hard to do if you're still not unsure about how certain things work. And so, oh my gosh, I'm always trying to change the wrong thing. Oh man, with user data, I'm seeing what Zep is posting all the time, and I'm just like, my brain is melting when I see this stuff. I'm just like, I think I'm not built for this kind of stuff. I think this is just too much. It's like you know, user data manipulation to draw lots of polygons on the screen. It's like creating like your own 3D engines and so forth. I mean, don't get me wrong, that's very exciting stuff, but I just like, you get to have to be like really in tune with all the 3D mathematics. Okay, why is no? Oh, right. It's not clickable because so now we can interact with this. Okay. What are we making today? Hello, Super Bullet. Well, we are setting up a playtest version of our prototype, so we can gather some data. Because I think I'm slowly getting to the point where I really want to just kind of like balance stuff, and I want to just gather some data to kind of like do some correct balancing, to kind of like figure out what the correct numbers are for the different like rewards and punishments. And also I want to see if I want to just like test some of the ideas we have already, because maybe some of them are just like BS. And I want to also have a play test myself, obviously. So this is how we attach a button. How do we attach some text? How does that work again? Do we have an example of this? Do I have to watch my own video about this? Recently finished a tutorial series for Cherry Bomb. I plan on doing advanced series next. Thanks for making this. No problem. But something I would recommend, because the advanced Schmod tutorial series is like 100 episodes, and it's not necessarily something that, you know, where you can follow everything. At some point, you know, it will run away. So something I would definitely recommend is trying to, like, with the knowledge that you already have, try to make your own game first. Like something that is really your own, and then you know, you can still watch the advanced series. Don't get me wrong. But I think the next step, the normal next step, is to create something on your own. So, Picotron GUI. Attach. There we go. Figured out, babies. Don't need the text here. We don't need all of these things, but we do need a draw function. Is that good? Any plans for categorizing Picotron? Yeah, yes, absolutely. That's what I want to actually do next week. Because I've been holding it off because my mind was like, I need to work on this high stakes thing. And there's like certain fundamental things I need to figure out about Picotron before I move Picotron, categorize to Picotron, which is how do I interface with the Pico 8 world? How do I create an editor? If I could move all the data from Pico 8 into Picotron, but ideally I would also, because Pico is Picotron, right? I would love to have some of the tools that I use to build the levels. I would love to port them also into Picotron. But the way I want to port them is that I can still edit the Pico 8 version if I need to. And generally, or maybe not, but I just want to know how this would work. You know, how would I create my own Picotron editor that edits something about my Picotron file in a way that is mine, you know. I still don't know how that works, and that's something I want to figure out next week. So stay tuned. I'm going to do lots of streaming about that as well. Picotron was like made for these specific. Yeah, I know that. That's why I'm very excited about this. But it's like it's like the system. You need to understand the system. That's why I'm doing these experiments. Like I just don't quite understand how all of this works yet. So does this work? What? Oh, I think we need a width here. Yeah, we need a width. We need a width and height. There is no self? Why is there no self? Is it like this? but the weird thing is it works in the sample text. That's why I'm a little bit confused. Oh no, it does have. Okay, self.msg. There we go. Okay, now it works. Oh, what? Why does it do that? You think it's MSG self? That could be also the case. No, it says self MSG. It won't work if I do this. Yeah, now I get nil. But why is it so offset? You know? Maybe it's a cursor thing. Ah, yes, it was a cursor thing. So that is also probably the problem. Why the color is so weird. What are the hex colors? I mean, it's a little bit useless. I think this is supposed to be 7, so it's this color. 7. There we go, 7. Oh, it can't be 7. So it's not 7. It's this color, 05 actually. So it's this color, right? And the idea is that you encode 2 colors into one hex number. And that gives you like the highlight color and the normal color. So if you mouse over it, it gets bright. Harold Drolls. Recently I've been watching the Pork Leg series. That's fantastic. Good to know. Hello, how are you doing? Beals was joking. He was just like, he will never do that. I'm still very happy about how Cattle Crisis turned out, and I would love to put it on Steam. I think I could just do it, but I think if you continue putting these small games on Steam, I think that I'm worried about the image that Pico 8 has on Steam. Like on itch, that doesn't matter. The quality levels on itch don't matter. But I think on Steam, you kind of want to bring in your A game. And it's like there's always this problem, you only have one opportunity for a first impression, right? So if I bring out like a small game on Steam and then later on now it's with DLC, it's like, at this point people will maybe like, I don't know. But on the other hand, it's such a niche game anyway, right? The thing is, the actual reason why I actually want to have it on Picotron is that I think if I want to have a bit of a wider appeal, this needs a little bit more accessibility options and like progression. And I'm just like, because I'm at limit with Pico 8, there's just so much I can do. And I would love to have like this additional space to add, maybe there's some unlockables, or maybe there's some kind of points that you can collect to go to the store to buy cosmetics, just like some idea or some kind of like just like menu that shows how far you did, like maybe some statistics that you collect since, like, hey, you progressed since last time, just something that to keep you hooked if you are new to the games and feel like you're less stranded. Kryzys hodowli bydła on Steam would be. Chris is probably bid one. That would be really great. A glut of middle PK titles, and you end up looking like a glut of Kimiko Seika JRPG titles on the Switch sub. Yeah, oh my god. Yeah. This was yes, we kind of did something similar in a shmup tutorial, yes, but we did it kind of like no, actually no, because you can hook this into a circle drawing function or something like this. I forgot how we did it back then. No, it wasn't circle drawing. Yeah. No, we did it back then because we had to do it because I wanted to use as little numbers to encode the position as the explosion as possible. Yeah. Even worse, not that there is a deluge of AI-coded games being churned out. Yeah. Not being pro or anti, and just saying there's also being cranked out, and it's hard to sift through. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, to me, I think it's a catastrophe. I think generally, I think nobody's really pro AI in the sense that nobody actually wants to consume AI games. I think the statistics are really clear. Like, people hate AI. People hate AI being shoved down their throats. Quite often, if you notice that something was made by AI, you just immediately delete it or don't read it. Like, if you're in the middle of an email and you realize, oh wait, this was written by AI, just stop reading, right? Because why should you, right? Nobody cared about writing this, so why should I care about reading this? There is no person on the other side. It's like a robot caller, you know. And I think the same thing with video games, but there's a sizable portion of especially young game developers, and definitely people like in a management class, an investment class people who have reasons to. Let's put it like, I think investment class people have reasons to push AI because they believe that AI is something they need to get on board on. That's why they're trying to make AI happen, or trying to show that AI will happen, or that they are involved in AI too, because that's something that will give us them investment. And there's a sizable portion in the tech sector of especially young people who believe them, or who see AI as a way to kind of like to crawl out of the crap bucket. Like, this is my chance, nobody else is using this. This is how I will win, you know. I will just use AI. It doesn't work for all these other people, but it might work for me. And it's something that I'm dealing with this a lot because I'm teaching a lot of courses, and there's been a lot of like AI people who come in and they struggle with the same issues that everybody been struggling before, where it's like, programming is hard. How do I figure out programming, you know? It's so complicated, my brain wasn't wired this way. Or I just can't draw. It's just every time I draw something looks ugly, but I want to make amazing games. And it's a very important part of your growth process as a game developer, as a creative person in general, to kind of like get comfortable with your limitations, with the limitations that you have, expand them in areas where you think you really need to expand in, and also kind of like start designing around the things that you cannot actually do. And AI is very devastating in this process because it stops people from learning, because they don't actively confront their own limitations. Because AI promises them that those actually don't matter. You can just offload it to AI, and then you can program an amazing game, and then you create amazing art. But they haven't even started confronting this process, so they don't even know what it means to be good at these things or design around these things. And they get stuck. They get genuinely stuck. It stunts their growth as a creative person. I've been doing well, thank you for. Oh wait, that's just so much. Super bullet well. Oh wait, I need to I need to allow this. Fuck them clankers. I've been doing well. Thank you for asking. I think games. No, there's stuff got moved around because one message was held. Not being pro AI, just saying there's sort of stuff being cranked out and it's hard to sift through. Yeah, I mean, but that's the thing is, like, it's always that was always the case. Like, it's every problem that we have right now with making good games. We always had this. We always had to rise above the noise. We always had to create, there was also a flood of other games and it was difficult to reach out to people. In many sense, these are the same problems. This scale may be changing and the landscapes are changing, definitely, absolutely the case. But at the end of the day, you need to make a great game. And there's no way around that, And what the great game is or isn't can be slightly different, sure. But I think having a great game and making sure that it reaches the audience that needs to reach through the noise is like that's I'm not going to say that's the easy part, but making a great game in the first place, that's kind of like a very first important step. If that's not there, then you don't even have to worry about the second part. And in many ways, like, once you get there, once you have a great game and you just need to reach the right people, you will know what next steps are. I think games I wish to create are way too ambitious for my skill set. I want to make a Yu-Gi-Oh card game for the Pico. Yeah, card games are difficult to get into, absolutely. Yeah, putting in the hours, but it's not impossible. I mean, they made these games on Picotron on Game Boy as well. The big problem with card games on Pico 8 is that you just don't have that much screen space, and that was the case also with Pico 8 and Game Boy. But all of those card games kind of games require quite often like information. You need to convey certain information. You need to write a sentence that people can read. And with Pico 8, you just don't have the space quite often. It's the case, by the way, with every board game adaptation. That's something when you do board game adaptations, that's something that the companies do board game adaptations struggle with the most. Something that you don't realize is how incredibly high resolution board games are. That's something that you don't really think about, but it's like the amount of information that a board game can convey at one glance is insane. You have like a huge surface that you can print tiny text on, right? And then you have you have cards, there can be text on those. There's so much surface to communicate such a wealth of information. And you, in physical space, you can just, put your head there, look at the cards, you can zoom in and every part of the board and get a crazy amount of information from that. And as video games, you just don't have that. You just have a screen that is relatively small resolution compared to a board game. And you don't have like this zoom in it. I can get close to the screen, but every time something's so small on the screen, I have to get close to it. That's bad design, right? And it's really difficult to design around that. So every board game adaptation struggles with this, and Pico 8 is like the hardest thing to do because it's just so low resolution. But I think Picotron might be a better choice there. I think especially the card game, the point-click UI really helps make a card game possible. Yeah, putting in the hours and work and thought is super important in game mechanics. You could tell how much these devs really care if they use AI or not. Like, you can tell if something feels good for a user because that process of making something and remaking it or rushed out because of AI. Yeah, I mean, it's one thing to talk about ethics of AI for like big studios, people who already know how to make games, but then add AI to the process. But the amount of devastation this causes to people who are in the process of learning how to make games is just so much larger. You just don't get anywhere with AI because just AI just stunts your growth, just stunts your learning process. It's not a ladder. It's not a ladder to climb up. With very, very rare circumstances, no one really can do it all in game dev. Yeah, at some point you have to make connections with people who have the skills you don't. Yeah, sure. Yeah, and I use AI for my job because I'm a data scientist, but I definitely don't want to consume AI-generated media. Yeah, that's right. Even if you use AI, it's like, okay, it does the job for me, right? But it's like, I'm not going to watch a movie that was made by AI. One guy in 2005 did it all by himself. Oh, yeah. I mean, there's examples of people, of solo developers doing stuff, but usually, you would then outsource stuff. Or work. I mean, even I actually made a game myself, technically, right? I made a game on Steam, Drama, back in the days. But even that, I outsourced music and voice acting. So it's possible, but you definitely need to reach out to other people. And it's important that you reach out to other. The problem is also like, because if you outsource something, there's always this thing where you also outsource decision making to somebody else, right? If I ask my friend, like, hey, can you make great music for this game? Then there's some things that he will consider that I wouldn't consider because I'm just not a musician, right? And then he can always go back to me like, hey, I know what the game's about. I understand what you're trying to achieve. Here's something that we could try out, and I have actually suggestion how you could maybe integrate this. There's always like this back channel as well. That is very important. But also like he makes actual creative decisions that are in line with, he already sees what I'm working on. There's like a sync that is happening, right? And so I can kind of offload decision making to him because he's like a responsible person that he can make those decisions. And if you do the same with AI will also make decisions, but you cannot take credit for those decisions anymore, right? You are not, the AI is not part of the team, right? And quite often AI will make horrible decisions, horrible creative decisions. And you cannot really intervene because it's like it's outside of your scope of it's not inside your mindset, right? It sounds good, it looks good to me, but you never draw anything, so you never know if something looks good to you, if something is actually good looking. There's always like this crazy thing where people who use a lot of AI, especially like, let's say AI generated imagery, they're always so shocked when you're like, oh, this looks like AI generated. Like, how did you know? Like, it's obvious. You can tell that they're the first one who got tricked by this system. Or maybe the only one who got tricked by the system. They think that if they can't tell, then nobody else can tell. Right. Yeah. Especially images. It's very interesting how it becomes a bit of a, like, the aesthetics are something that, because it used to be like, people would count the fingers or something like this. It would be like, oh, because the number of fingers, this looks like AI. And I think it slowly become, because AI has become so ubiquitous. I know, it's so crazy these days when you talk about AI, in the video games, like, oh, the computer AI. No, not this kind of AI. So it used to be like, you would count the fingers, but then, the AI got the fingers right, and Stable Diffusion got the fingers right. And then that's no longer, so in some ways it's got harder to recognize AI images. But actually, I think I would argue the opposite. It's actually even easier to recognize AI images now, because you don't even have to count the fingers. You can see it right away. There's an aesthetic, and you're like, the channels are flooded with those images, and they stand out. They stand out like a sore thumb. When something looks like AI, you don't know that something sounds like AI. Sometimes you get false negatives and false positives, and but this style then becomes associated with low quality, with deception, with spam. with negative things, right? So whenever, and it's kind of funny because AI quite often actually tries to copy like successful studios like Ghibli and especially Pixar, you know, like kind of like CG movies and so forth are something that's very easy to generate with AI, or like anime or so. And then you more and more you start associating these aesthetics with like with deception and cheapness and spam and you know, low effort. It's very, there is a tremendous shift happening. Just today I saw there was like a trailer to Frozen 3. And of course my mind immediately went, oh, is that AI generated? That seems like be like a legit trailer. But immediately, like, you know, all the 3D movies just feel so, I don't know, they're very close to this kind of like disposable AI look. And that makes me think differently about the movies. And before they were in high quality, you know, like, oh, Frozen looks so such great character designs, you know, everything looks so crisp. But now it's like, oh, the same thing with photography. Like quite often AI generated photography is like, looks very crisp, very well lit, you know, these like perfect photos, you know. That used to be something that you aspire towards when you're creating, like when you're a photographer, you know, I'll get the rim light just right to accentuate, you know, the silhouette. And now like the AI just churns these out, and now it's no longer like a desirable look. Yeah, you never realize when going from paper to digital, it's so much going under the hood. The decisions to put certain information is crazy by itself, including chugging along. Yeah, Harold, so if you want to, I mean, it's fine. If you want to, one tip I can give you, because I have students making card games every year. There was actually one this year that they actually pulled it off, even though it was a bit of a wonky card game, but it was a good game in the end. It was an adaptation of a Shakespeare piece. The one tip I can give you when you're making any kind of card game in a digital form is you absolutely need to paper prototype it. It needs to be playable and work in paper. And when it works in paper, when you have play tested it multiple times, run through it multiple times, balance this, then going to Pico 8 or Picotron is going to be so much easier. Something that you can very easily get wrong, very easily get stuck in, is not having a complete idea of how the card game works, and then start to develop it in a PC and just get completely stuck because you just don't have the kind of flexibility in a PC. You kind of like, you have to design the entire, there's so much effort involved in designing a UI, and it's very difficult to change rules, right? Or introduce new rules. You have to maybe change the entire structure, data structure, because there's this one rule that needs to know about the specific property. You know, there's all this technical work required to do small changes. That will just completely obliterate your ability to iterate on ideas. So you want to do this in a non-digital space if you can. You always mention these students. Are these students with us in our room? Yes, I'm teaching at multiple universities currently. The one that I teach the most at is called Cologne Game Lab, which is institute of the Cologne University of Applied Sciences. Okay, so let's put a B3 in here. Yes, I teach at the university. That's true. I've never been ardently anti-AI like most of it, but output isn't there. Yeah, and I'm beginning to think it never will be there. What's the phrase? About 90% of the effort and 10 and last 10% of the work. AI looks crass compared. Yeah, I know. Yeah, that's the problem. Like I think I see if AI was the thing that it promises to be, we could have a conversation about, maybe we should like throw out copyright laws, maybe we should actually invest that kind of effort, because then we can work so much faster, because we can let AI do all the work. We can generate movies with AI. You don't have to actually do any real shooting anymore. We can write books if it does such a great job, but it just doesn't. It just fails. Every time you ask it to do something, it will be the worst version of that thing. It will technically be maybe correct in the ideal case, but it will be like always like the monkey's paw curls things. Yeah, I guess that's what I wanted, but is it really? And then the only reason to justify the use of it is like you have to extend a crazy amount of you have to cut it a crazy amount of slack. It's like, oh, poor AI. I told it to make Space Invaders, but it didn't get the collision detection all just right. Oh well, I guess I fix it myself. And then if you have to fix it yourself, then why didn't you do it by your own? Yeah, like the amount of effort we put into it is crazy. The playing part is the part where I'm stuck currently. I've printed all these game pieces on paper. Recently I've been shy sharing it, but I make the effort to share it to my friends in Discord. Thanks so much for this. Yeah. Something I would recommend, I've shown it before. Something I need to make a video about this maybe. See, it's always in picture, you see. It's always in picture actually. I have this wonderful box here. Do you see the box? This is a box. It's a prototyping box. And it has a whole bunch of things, like tokens, just like weird tokens and cards and everything. And look, there's a whole bag of empty dice, of just blank dice. And in here is also a pack of cards, of blank cards. The Gundam is not Barbatos, that is Exia. So see, just blank cards. And you can buy them on cheap websites like Amazon or something like this. Look, I had this for like our last prototype. I had some shields in here. And these are fantastic. You just need a whole packet of those at your disposal at any given time. Don't print it, just write them with your hands. Because if you print them, then it's like a whole extra process that you go through. Just make the cards with your hands, and if you feel like you figured out the correct thing, you can still print them out later. Because they're supposed to be disposable. You're supposed to throw them out if they don't work. Yeah, I'm thinking about that. Maybe it's a good idea, huh? Let's see how that works. So how does that work again? I want to do line breaks anyway, but maybe you're right. Maybe we need to. Wait, I'm gonna do it here. I don't think it's necessary. I think we can figure it out. Yeah, that feels more readable. Ding, 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 ding. Ding, ding. Dong, dong. Shrimpy TV! Picotron, so good. I definitely. I think there's there's good reasons to use both. I kind of really like Pico 8 because it's still so. How do you call it? It's it feels so cozy still. Picotron does not have that kind of cozy feel. It's not bad, but it's just a little bit different. I was really burnt out on game dev before I learned Picotron was a thing. Yeah. I think that lots of people felt the same thing about Pico 8 back in the days. Me including. Okay, so this works. Yeah, it's been a while, yeah. I think it's, yeah. I've been doing it for a very long time now. I just realized I forgot something. I need to write something down I need to do today. Let me write this down real quick. Got it. All right, so also, are you talking so negatively about but didn't use any image in your LXO video? No. No, that wasn't in II. Where? For the game I wanted to create. No, the thumbnail is not AI. That's something I made in Photoshop. For the game I wanted to create, I've contextualized it from the point of view that I. Why are people so? It's basic Photoshop. Jesus Christ. For the game I wanted to create, I've contextualized this from the point of view. I just think about balancing this from the level of if you open a pack of cards, all these cards must feel usable. So I've been, for the longest time, been making 50 to 100 different cards at a time. Oh yeah, that's always a problem. Yeah, that's a huge problem generally that you have with if you want to recreate the feeling of a big trading card game. It's just a lot of cards that you need to design, and the game is kind of not playable until all of them are in place. Yeah. Something I would maybe recommend is just get different references, in the sense that maybe, just saying, maybe it's you put it to the side, right? This is going to be something that we're going to do as version 2.0, you know. But version 1.0 is going to be just there's not going to be any packs that you open or anything like this. It's just, you know, you have a pre-constructed deck, and that will just have, you know, these wonderful cards that are meant to be played together. There's some really good. No, but the computer, there is not AI. No, the computer is a PC. I found a photo of a PC and I cut it out. It's like a normal PC. Let me see. Do I have the Photoshop file still there? I mean, maybe that was a generated PC, but I don't think so. I would have caught it, I think. Do I have the original file here? So Harold, there's some game jams that I. It's funny when I open up the dark image. There is some card games that are designed to work with very few cards, and it might be worthwhile to checking them out. I think one very famous example is the card game A Love Letter. that uses famously just like 7 cards or something like this. And it might be worthwhile checking out these kinds of games that I have a very small deck, and the deck is designed to work, you know, as designed. Let's see, do I have thumbs? Is it this one? Yeah. No, it's a normal PC. What you talking about? Let me show you real quick. Oh, that's not me. That's me. Alright, this is the wrong file. Let's go in here. And usually what the AI screws up is the keyboard, but this looks legit. This is the, I'm not sure which monitor it is, but like with the speakers on the bottom, yeah, that's a normal PC, man. Especially the yellowing is very, very real. I don't think I have the actual file that I cut it out from. Oh, I might have. I think I didn't cut it out. It was one of the stock images, basically, right? But you can tell that this was cut out because you see that this shadow is wrong. So this must have been cut out, and the shadow must have been airbrushed in. I didn't do that. I think the file I had already a white background. And yeah, and then the LXO is like this. Wait, how is it? There we go. Is it here? No. Where is it? And there is it. There's a glow. And there we go. That's the entire PC. So this is what I had started out with, and then I made the screen a bit darker. Put the logo on top. The logo had I inverted the logo because the logo is pink. So I inverted it so it's green, so it looks more like a CRT monitor, like an old school CRT monitor. Although that's not the right, how we call it, the right period of CRT monitor. This is a more modern monitor. Although it has is it a still a diskette monitor? So it's not a CD era, that's pre-CD era. But it had the speaker, so it was a Sound Blaster era. And then a bit of a glow in here, so it looks a bit glowy. Yeah, exactly. I was experimenting with different. I wanted to put like this, but this looks bad. This looks like weird because the pink is not quite right. So yeah, so that's how I did it. I mean, it's fair. Like that was supposed to be look a little bit. Oh yeah, and then the logo of. I mean, I used a lot of and then I did shadow on the bottom, so it looks more like it's standing on something, and then did a little glow on top here, so it's a little bit more. I mean, it's a bit of that kind of like polished look that you get from a lot of AI. Don't get me wrong. I'm not. I don't blame you. And then this logo, that's basically AOL. That's the AOL logo, I think. And I just replaced America and America Online with Lexaloffel and AOL with LXO. Just basic Photoshop, man. Because like that LXO text on that ticket looks kind of the logo looked different, but it's it's one of those challenges. How do you, if you have an existing logo, how do you put it in a scene that looks nice? Okay, so this gives us the thing. This will start a play test. The play test we're getting from here. Now let us go to. No worries. No offense taken. I did use some AI in some cases in the very past. So when I did like the first basic shmup showcase, I used back then AI was new and exciting. I used Stable Diffusion mid journey to create a banner on the website there. There was a banner on top, and I just had some background with like a ship battle there and generated that using this. And that was my first disappointment with AI, because then I realized, oh, it's actually just gibberish. And I just couldn't do that myself, or just like get the screenshot from Star Wars. That would have been it. Yeah, love letter. Exactly. There's some other. This is generally something that's very fun to do and very cool exercise to do, which is to design a card game with very few cards. And there has been a game jam about this. Kind of like a, just like 7 cards deck, and how do you get the most out of 7 cards or something like this. Yeah, it was just the beginning of AI. That's why I used it back then. Yeah. Was it a Dragon Bridge? Dragon Bridge. Let me look this up. A Dragon Bridge card game. Yeah, exactly this one. This was made by Keith Bergun. Dragon Bridge. The game is called The Dragon Bridge. It was made in 2019 by Keith Bergun, and it's also one of those games that has very few cards. Let me see, how many cards are there in there? And it was also made in a game jam that was about creating cards with card games with very few cards. Well, I guess it's a little bit more than just a few cards. This has a bit more cards. But yeah, it's also like this self-contained kind of card game. I think it's worthwhile just experimenting. The thing is, like, if you have these kind of cards, blank cards, you can just try out things, And then something I would recommend if you want to showcase, like, the test with your friends. How about you design like 3 games? And one maybe is going to be your favorite one, and the other one's just going to be there's just like the also ran kind of situation, and then show all three cards to your friends and ask them which one they like the most. Gen AI that didn't completely suck. I was pretty sure. No, it started earlier in 2024. Come on, what are you talking about? The mid journey was pretty early on there. That was basically when I returned from China. All right, so this is go to game, and here I want to introduce the thing that will start the playtest. This is the menu, playtest. So this is just going to be a playtest, right? Number. If number equals 1, else if. Yeah. Because the problem is, like, always you show your friends or somebody else this one example of something, right? And they'll be like, did you like it? Yeah, it was nice, sweetie. But the way you really get feedback out of people is show them different versions. Like, oh, I like this a lot more than this. That other one sucked, but this is really the GOAT, Just gives them a little bit of a excuse to dunk on some of the ideas that you already had. And quite often you will get like, oh, I like this about this, but I kind of like this about this. You quite often end up with a mixture of multiple things, which is fine. But it puts like one example maybe in context, and allows some people to reason more about the game and talk a bit more about their emotions. Right, so we're just gonna go to game here, right? Why do I have set up here? Oh, right. We're just always gonna go to setup 7, to the rebalance setup. And the only thing that we need to do here is the joker butts. Oh, by the way, it's something that's very important. It's a pet peeve of mine. Whenever you create multiple versions of something and ask people which one do you like the most, they need to be meaningfully different. That's something I hate the most. When people are like, oh, I created a sprite for my main character. Which one did you like most? And it's like a little dwarf. And then the next example is this very same sprite. It's just slightly different hair color. This one is blonde. This one is slightly darker blonde. And the third one is black hair. You know, it's like you're asking us which hair is the right color. That's not the thing that will make or break a character. You know. And if you're already there where you feel like this is the perfect character, I just need to nail the hair color, I don't think you will actually ask people for that. I think you can, if you went that far, you don't need people to decide on the hair color. I think the problem quite often is like you just don't want to start from scratch. And you're like, let's just noodle around on something that's very easy to change and to get like more variations out there. But you know, you're just afraid to starting out from scratch, and I think you should be starting out from scratch to actually create meaningful differences. Because maybe your entire approach was wrong at the very beginning, and maybe it shouldn't be a dwarf. Maybe it should be an elf or a princess or a little mouse. Okay, how do we do this the best? Because we need to create those Joker butts, right? Yeah, Mina the Hollower, man. Rodent Anthro characters. So... It's getting a bit late. I really just want to just power through here. Because I want to get to something else. So let's pick this one out. So let's not get bogged down with. I really love talking to you guys. It's usually it's very quiet on those streams, and I'm very happy that this time around we got a little bit more audience interaction. So don't get me wrong, but I do need to get some work done. And again, next week we're gonna have a lot more interesting stuff happening because we're gonna actually start something new. And also, I actually want to playtest this thing, so we're gonna get some feedback as well. That's fantastic, fan-frickin-tastic. So I wonder. I think we. I think the number is fine. We're just going to use the number as a indicator for us. And so something like this, right? Let's save this. Okay, so let's set everything to false. False, 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 false. And this one will have this as true, this as true, and this as true. Mina the Hall was a breath of fresh air. Mina was a damn near religious spirit. Really? Where were you guys when we were doing this as a game of the month thing? Just saying, just super sane. So let us set some of these things to true. So what are we going to do in this mid section? Definitely want to have this. We definitely want to have this. Let's go with this. This feels a little bit better. And then maybe max. No. What was that? Was try. Yeah, let's go with try for this one. This one has this is M and that's max, and this is prime. Prime is definitely something for the. I'm not sure if I should activate this or not. Let's activate it here. This is for sickos. Currently, my son is with his grandma on a rainy Sunday afternoon, so I can finally sit at home, piddle around. Oh yeah. My daughter is also gone. That's fantastic. Not that I want her to be gone, but on the contrary, but it is very, very good to be able to sit down and get some work done. So for this one, we definitely want to have the letter and the or. We definitely want this. Let's do just compass and M. What is T again? Oh, it's try. Sure, and this definitely also as well. Let's go all in on these. We're not gonna have this because this is a little bit OP. And let's activate these as well. Just like activate everything except from this one. This is a little bit too nice. This is a bit of a gut feeling. I don't know. We're gonna get some information out of this, I guess. And then very importantly, yeah, I haven't finished my first playthrough of Mina. Maybe I will play it this week. I'm gonna see. I would actually rather play through Final Fantasy III. There we go. Starter token is what we're needing. And then starter token equals 2. Starter token equals 1. And here starter token equals 0. So let's see if this works. So this should get, no, we got the R here. That shouldn't be happening. All right, because we're not actually paying attention to this. Okay, so for TGL in all toggles number. So if this is number 2, then yeah, I don't know. It doesn't strike me as much of a soul-like. Okay. Okay, this seems to be working generally. Okay. Now, creamy mid. Okay. Okay. I think we got it. Something I'm missing is an exit kind of situation, right? I want to be able to quit a game. But yeah, we've been playing. What did we play? Castlevania, Symphony of the Night last month, and that was such a breath of fresh air. That felt so good to play a game that is reasonably balanced. Okay, it's not a game I would associate with being well balanced. Let me rephrase this. It is a game that is just not stupidly brutal and unforgiving, which quite often is being something that is confused with how games used to be. The games didn't used to be like this, and that's a good example. Yes. Okay, wait. How do I? What's the button? Show values. Show values. Okay. No. Okay. If what's the name of that thing? Menu mode. If menu mode is not equals playtest, then add like this. right now. And if I set it to something else, okay, and then let us set the width to the same. Yes. Okay. I think we can just go. In such case, we can just go out to. Go to menu. If I do something and quit. Okay, the rounds count up. Okay. Like this. And then what about winnings? Do they get reset? So now we have winnings 8, quit. Okay, winnings do get reset. Where is it? Oh yeah, so let's put everything together. Like this, okay. Okay, so this solves this problem and this problem. We can get out of the menu. So we did this. We don't have the tooltips yet, so that's something we need to do. And we need to do stat tracking. Now the tooltips are bonus, these are gravy. The stat tracking is the thing I'm actually a little bit worried about. So let's do the stat tracking next. We need to consider what kind of information we want to put into the stat. And we're just gonna put them in we're just gonna store it, right? Okay, I immediately have an idea. Stats. Let's go game stats. So fetch. How do I do this in my other program? Let's see. Whoops, didn't want to do this. Let's save this. How do they save it on the screen? Oh, there we go. Store on a desktop. So we're going to create this function called save stats, and that will just do a store on the desktop of the game stats. Okay, you can just put a table there, right? So we're gonna see if this works. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, something like this, right? And then we're gonna save stats, and we're gonna see if this will work. High stakes pod. Let's call this high stakes pod. Okay. So let's run this. And now there's our pod. We can open it up. And yeah, there is all the information. Perfect. Good. So now we can see if we can fetch. Fetch file and objects. Return ULA objects stored in a given file. Returns the object. Oops. I'm trying to find out if there's a way to troubleshoot if a file doesn't exist. So let's see like gamestats equals fetch. If gamestats equals nil, then like this, and then save stats, right? So oops. Else. Okay. Okay, so this loaded now because we have the high stakes pod. Now let's delete the high stakes pod. Still, you can still delete it like this. So let's run this now. Okay, but did it create it now? Yeah, it created now. Okay, good. Perfecto. Um, so now when we are drawing stuff, here, when we're drawing the numbers of games, we can actually game stats, hashtag game down game stats. Like this. Game stats is not there. But it shouldn't be there. Huh. Is it somehow run before? Oh, always forget about this. Okay. Perfect. So now these numbers are actually taken from the game stats object. That's fantastic. So now, if, for example, if I create something like this, I should actually get a 2. Yes, perfect. So this is fantastic. So now can go like playtest cat equals number. And then here in a round, we can go like playtest cat if playtest cat then and we can grab this from the actual game stats, right? Round equals game stats like this, right? So now if I run this, we should be around 3. Yeah, fantastic. So here we would track, or we call it log game. miss. Stab. Stab. Miss. Cash out. Stab, stab, miss, cash out. And then vampire. Let me write down all the different options. Cash out, stab, miss, and stab. So now we need to get this thing out. I need to actually log it. So this writes the information in our file. And it's just like the matter of what kind of information do we need to save. Let's just first save kind of like the outcome of the game, and then we're gonna worry about things later. Just write it in here, and then we're gonna put it in the menu. So like game stats, no, add game stats this, that, and then save stats. Like this. So 10 rounds, winnings minus 54. Let's quit. So now I have 9 games. If I go in here, there's 10 rounds still, okay. And let's see if we logged actually the information in here. So this should be in here, empty, empty, empty. And there, outcome vampire, 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 vampire. Okay, just vampire outcomes, but okay. So we have to save the information, that's very good. Let's clear this out again, because we want to maybe have clean information at the beginning. So what else? Winnings. Log game. Log. Oh yeah, because depending on... Okay. Like this. So this should also save how much we won or lost. I also want to log what do I want to log? I want to log which cards, how many face down cards, left. I also want to log which jokers present. That's kind of it. I think that's it. I could also track, which jokers have been used and so forth, but I don't think that I will meaningfully. I really just want to see if, for example, I want to see, how a joker affects your ability, that a joker was present affects your ability to actually win the game. I would definitely want to have like an average winning, and then maybe average winning split by different joker types. And then maybe like, if people were cashing out more or not less and so forth. So I think this is just enough data, really. Okay, so let me do one more thing. For D in all winnings plus equal D dot. Oh my gosh, I don't see it. Where is it? There we go. Let's try this. So we're gonna play this. We're gonna lose some money. -7. Okay. And I quit and I play again. My winnings are going to be as -7. So I'm going to play some more. Now it's -11. I'm going to restart the game. Still up -11. Okay, perfect. I mean, it would be nice maybe to like a heat map or everything, but whatever. That's, you know, we can still do another round later on. Okay, so let's figure out these things and then we can call it a day. So I think stabbing a vampire doesn't mean flipping a vampire. Where's the vampire? What is card left? I think when you flip a card, that means face down cards. So let's make it so like this. Cards, no, it's not here. Oh, I haven't looked at checked in a while. Oh, okay. Face down. So that should be it, right? So there's 4 face down, 3 face down, 1 face down. Okay, so there's 2 cards at the end that were left. So let's see if what it says in the high stakes pod. Face down 0. Why? Why did it say 0? Is cards left some kind of... Was that reset already at this point? What? Let's try this again. There should be cards left to 1 now. No, it's always 0. Okay, let's do a stupid thing. Let's stab something that's wrong. What does it say now? Okay, now it says 7. Why did it have 7 though? It was like I stabbed the first card, right? Let's try it again. So this is 8 cards now. And it's still 7. Okay. I think flipping the vampire will just log game. Okay, if you click on the last card, that definitely reduces it to 0. That makes sense. But does stabbing? Stab. Stab click. I'm not sure what. Let me log the game. Let me log this. Cards left, draw. Debug equals cards left. What? Oh. What do I do here? There we go. if cards left, then okay, let's try this. So it's 7. It starts with 7. That's the problem. It starts with the wrong number. There is 8 face down cards. Okay. You know what? It's a working thing. So let's just do like a +1 here, and that will solve the problem. Right, because now it's like 1, 2, 3. So now there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 cards left, right? So let's see if this logged correctly. 5 cards, perfect. And now if I stab immediately, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, because stabbing doesn't count as flipping. Yes. All right, I think we got this. So how do we generate the buttons? Joker butts. No. So let us now log also an array of all of the token butts, and then I think we're done. I mean, it would be nice also to log if they're even used or not. Let's go TB. Then we're gonna go token dat add token dat TB. So how do we create the token bus? We have a state, we have a position. But how do we set the token butts? That's what I'm asking myself. Or is that just like in this function here? It's definitely the tube. tb.tube tb dot let's go tb.state. Just log everything. And then take tk tokens like this. So this should be saved. We don't have anything there, so let's play a game. Stab. Arg. So now when we go out, we get we had what? Plus? Oh yeah, plus. Yeah. Mm-hmm. We had used this token. We had these available. We haven't used them, and we stabbed. And the winnings were 23. Here we reached a vampire. That was the fifth. There were 5 cards left. So quite early we lost 4. Okay. That seems pretty good. So I think this solves this problem. Now we can just like play the game. And it will log all of this stuff. Okay. So now the only thing left for me to do is to do the tooltips. That was easy. Saving stuff is pretty easy. Start tracking and saving. Wait, we already did that. So now the tooltips are finished. Okay. We can close this. And we can close this. So how are we going to do this? We can create a global file that is just all about those tooltips. So there's names for this, right? I invented names for this. Let's copy this over. And also, as always, the go-to menu needs to go at the very end. Plus token. Compare token. 50 token. Parity token. Box token. Or we can read out the token then, huh? Plus compare 50-50. Parity. Box. Compass. Try. M is max. Prime or in different max letter. Place on face down card. Cards shows a number. The card is that number or higher. Place on a face up card shows if the neighboring cards are smaller or greater value. Is that how you spell neighboring? That's how we call neighboring. Will automatically place on a face down card. There is a 50% chance it will be placed on a value. Will be automatically parity. Place on face-up card. Shows if the neighboring vampire counts as 10. Vampire counts as 10. Neighboring. Place on the face-up card shows if neighboring face down cards have the same parity or not. Vampire count is 9 out of shows 2x2 area that always contains the compass. Place on a face-up card shows the direction of the towards the shows the card direction towards vampire. Flips a card if it is a vampire. You don't lose, but the face down cards get all sharp. And tokens get deleted. R will be let's go removed. Max. Highlights either the row with the highest sum or the column with the highest sum. Prime. Place on a face-up card. This displays the number of neighboring cards with prime numbers. Then isn't Or place on a face down card, displays a number. The card is either that number or place on a face down card if code says hi, it is in a row or column. Otherwise, it's low. Place on a face down card will display a letter that can be used to spell the number in English. Place on face the card will display a letter that can be used to spell the card number in English. Okay, I think we got this. So these are the tooltips. Now we need to actually display the tooltip. Do we have a cool place for this? We could place it, display it just like here, right? We don't need to have a special. Do we have a Picotron word wrap? We need to invent a way to word wrap, but that's something we're going to figure out in a second. First, I just want to really print this. Wait a minute, tooltip. We already had the tooltip here, right? Tooltips. Okay. Let me, where we draw the game. Draw a game right here. Token name print token text. So the name can be 6. So where do we put it? Let's go like 300 and 100 or something like this. And the token text is going to be something like this, right? And then 66795. Let's try this. Okay, this looks good. A little bit further to the left. Now we can go a bit higher. I'm trying to copy some text. Show me the word wrapping. Oh my gosh! Why is it so complicated? Jesus Christ! It's infuriating. It's infuriating when people give you like one function, but then add another function to it. Like word wrapping and changing color. I just need word wrapping, dude. I mean, okay, I'm complaining. About people sharing their wonderful work. So I'm a little bit, this is a bit of a do I have to do it myself? Let's get some lorem ipsum here. Word wrap. Local words equals split txt and then Lua loops. I always forget. I need a while loop. Like this. So while hashtag words is greater than 0 do. Line text line equals this. Local max v. Let's go 30 or something. It's gonna be a dirty word wrapping function, but it's fine. If hashtag txt line plus hashtag words 1 is greater than maxv plus 1, then ret equals txt line dot \n. So this is the word wrap. Txt line equals words1. Else txt line dot words. And then we're going to go del e words1 like this, right? And then we're going to go. Okay, we're going to actually make sure that if words, hashtag words is greater than maxVuv, then else. No, listen. We don't need that kind of stuff. We're not gonna. This is just like a little helper here, right? So this should be fine. Let's see if this works. No. Oh yeah. At the end, we definitely want to do this again, right? So, oh no, we didn't do the. No, yeah, we did. Ah, I know. Okay, maybe it's too long. Oh, is it this way or this wrong? Yes. Okay, perfect. I'm not sure why we have space at the beginning. Oh yeah, right. Okay, let's see if this works. Okay, so we have the text now. Can make it a little bit wider, 20. Yeah, that seems good. So now let us make it so that the token name shows up correctly. We probably don't need the word wrap here. We're gonna do it when we actually. Doesn't really matter, right? Oh, whatever. Let's make sure that this works. Okay. So here's where we create the bots. I think it's here when we create the token bot, right? Here. Make token bot. I think this is the one that we kind of need here. Hover equals function self MSG and let's just make it token hover, token but hover. Function token but hover self MSG for TK in for TT in all tooltips. Do if self.to if that equals tt.1, then, and in this case token tt name tt desk. So we want this. All right, and then we're gonna go tt name equals tt2 and tt desk equals tt3. Perfect. So now we just need to then we can word wrap. Word wrap this, and then tt name. Where is it? Here. We're gonna go tt name and then tt desk here. It should be like this. Huh. Does that work? No. Okay. Let's get this out. Like this. Does that help? Okay. Word prep now doesn't work. Attempted length integer index. Text line definitely has a length. I feel like this is a problem where we split a text that is empty. GT desk. Oh yeah, I see the problem. Letter. Okay, Jesus Christ, don't wrap this. Oh my God, I hate this. Ah, I'm losing my mind. Just put something on a goddamn stream. There we go. Okay, we exist. I'm losing my cool here. Okay. Okay, how do we word wrap this now? Why doesn't it word wrapping work? It works. It's fine. Sometimes it doesn't work. I think some of these still are broken. But I don't see which one. How do we know? This goes max check. You know what? Let's make it word wrap like this. Then we can slowly work our ways towards the correct one. You don't need the word wrap here. This is already the problem. The first one is the problem. What is the problem? Attempt to get the length of a number value. Oh, I think I know the problem. What was it then? Pico 8. What was it? Split. Convert numbers false. Got it. Like this. Okay, I think we get this now. I mean, we can still, it's a little bit inefficient, but I think it's a little, I feel a little better going with this. Oh, the final break line is not good. Word wrap. How do we? Like this. Okay. Whew, sheesh. Okay, there's a couple of things that I want to do. I don't like how the tooltip doesn't disappear. I would like to disappear. Is there a way for us to make it disappear? Let's see. So, I mean, we could just make it disappear at the beginning of every update function. Let's how about that update. So let's just clear it out at the beginning of every update function. So like this. That would be an easy way to do this, right? Yeah, just finished. Bam. Okay, now I would love to have the little tokens here. I would have to love to have them as well. Show what they are. Is that possible? No, they're ghost, right? We cannot hover over them, right? Right? It doesn't work like this. Let's see if this works. TT, oops. TT desk. Let's get this out. And let's call it drop token. There we go. Yeah, that doesn't work because it's ghost. But if it's not ghost, then it works. Oh, but it's actually really small, weirdly enough. Okay, I think this is a situation where making this work very nice and bug-free is going to be difficult. So I'm just not gonna try. It's fine. What heck? This is this text editor. This is Pico 8. No, it's Picotron. It's not Pico 8. Perfect. Okay, good. This looks sweet and good and perfect. Yeah, it's a retro game development engine or computer, I guess. You know, environment with everything. Oh, what did I forget? Ah, yeah, that's good. Okay, so I think this is it. I will probably end it for today because I achieved actually all of my goals for today. We have this playtest set up. I will probably do like a test run of the playtest to make sure that there's any mistakes or anything like this. And I will export a card tomorrow, and I will record a video for everybody to be able to join this test. And then we're gonna see what happens. Yeah, this game is called High Stakes. It's already available on a console called Pico 8 for free. If you look for the game High Stakes and Pico 8, you will find it. This is what it looks like. Let's do a live advertisement. Let's see, where is it? High Stakes. No? Is it here? Yeah. So this is the game, the original game. This was just a prototype that I did for an expanded version. You can play this game. and it's like a card game, and your goal is to find where the vampire is supposed to be, and you have like those tokens that help you out a little bit. And you can stab the vampire if you know what a vampire is. The vampire is a card of 10, and you can flip the card, and if it's a vampire, you will die. So you need to flip all of the cards that are not a vampire. For example, this card here has a 2+ on it. That means that the underlying card is either a 2 or a 3 or a 4 or a 5 or a vampire. 2 is kind of pretty safe here, so let's flip the 2 here, that's fine. Let's flip this and this. Now we flip the entire row, and this activates this token, and we can now put this token somewhere else. This is the compare token. And you need to place it on a face-up card, and it compares the values adjacent to it to the cards that you place it on. I'm gonna go with something risky. I'm gonna go here. That was the vampire. And I lost the round. And I lose money or blood. Okay, so this time I'm gonna put it in here. So now this card is smaller than the 8. So we can flip it around. This card is also smaller than the 8. We can also flip it around. There's an 8 here, so that's very risky. That's a 7. That's moderately risky. I'm gonna flip this row. Oh my god, he got me again. Freaking vampires. Oh my god. I'm not doing so well. Okay, we got the vampire now. So this is 9+, and there's already 9 out here, so that must be the vampire. Bam. Got lucky there. So that's another 9+, that's good to know. Let's do a compare here. Okay, both of these are safe. I don't know if I want to use this now. This is still very risky. I'm not gonna get this row. I might get this column though. This row though. Let's see, 8. Okay, let's see if this is higher. This is higher. So this could be the vampire or the 9. Let's make this. Okay, this is a 6. So it's really either this or this. We don't know. Let's pass. So this is the game that originally made, and we're making a bigger version now. And that's for what the prototyping is for. Oops, that's not me. That's me. It's called High Stakes. It's for free. All right, everybody. So this is it. This is we achieved our goals. Yeah, the to-do list is already deleted. So I will send out the playtest probably out tomorrow, probably before I have my I'm gonna do it right after waking up. So because in the afternoon I have something to do. So I don't know if I'm actually gonna do a game dev stream tomorrow. Maybe I will. Maybe I will. Maybe I will try to do it but it's gonna be in the evening more than in the afternoon as usual. And then of course tomorrow evening is the big finale of the Nuzlocke, Hardcore Nuzlocke Challenge comes up as well. But that's going to be on the other channel, on the Kristen channel. So I hope you tune in. I will either die and have to restart, or I will defeat the Elite Four. That's going to be exciting to see. But yeah, next week is going to be a lot of this stuff and also a lot of new stuff. We're going to explore some other options in Picotron. Maybe going to attempt even to get Cattle Crisis in Picotron. We're gonna see how this will work out. Thank you so much for the follow, Jova. Thank you so much, everybody else, for joining me on this longest stream. That was very productive. That felt really good. See you next time around. Bye bye, guys.